welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel on Sunday, the 3rd of September. Today, just going to do a quick 10-minute post-match reaction to Celtic's great victory just an hour or so ago at Ibrox, winning 1-0. Before we crack on with the reaction video, just please, if you can, like and subscribe. Please have a wee go at the quiz question in the community channel, and if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the opinions, enjoying the style, please do subscribe. It's all free of charge. And so if you do likes, please do click on the subscribe, and it does help boost the analytics and ratings and sharing of these videos. So I thought, obviously, it was a brilliant result. It wasn't the best of performances, but I think with the half-strength side that Celtic were forced to put out against what was, in essence, except for left-back, Rangers' best 11, I thought this was a very good team performance. I thought in the first half, Callum McGregor was back to his usual, controlling the game, a bit more anonymous in the second half. Things were a wee bit frantic in defence. I think Lagerbielke and Scales did okay. Scales seemed to get a bit more praise than Lagerbielke. Lagerbielke, of course, did make a couple of mistakes, one of which needed the VAR referee to come in and quite rightly advise a free kick, which happily the referee on the pitch agreed with and disallowed the Rangers goal. I think the main reason why Lagerbielke and Scales struggled a bit in defence was just their lack of partnership. This is, of course, is only the second time the two of them have played together. And so it was understandable that there were times where it wasn't terribly clear whose man it was, whose ball it was to go for. I think these sorts of things take a bit of time to build up. And of course, when CCV and Starfelt were starting their partnership a couple of years ago, they were teething problems then as well. I think Lagerbielke, once he settles down, will do fine. I think once he actually builds up a relationship, probably it's going to be with Nat Phillips rather than Scales, but we'll see. I thought Alistair Johnston played very well on the right side of defence. It's a shame that he went off injured, although Rodgers was implying that the injuries to Johnson and Taylor were quite minor and are unlikely to affect them when we come back from the international window. I was a wee bit surprised myself personally that we started with Scales and Lagerbielke in defence. I thought Nat Phillips was likely to start. Similarly, I was rather disappointed that we used Turnbull in midfield rather than Holm or even Iawata. Turnbull again was pretty anonymous. He took a long time to actually get into the game, a couple of misplaced passes, and I thought he was probably in the first half Celtic's poorest player. Matt O'Reilly, some good touches here and there, and of course it was his header back that set up Kyogo's brilliant goal. Overall, I think this was a good team performance, good team spirit. I thought we played with quite a bit more pace, quite a bit more aggression, quite a bit more let's get after them. There was still some patient build-up, but I thought this time Celtic actually managed to create nice partnerships, nice patterns of passing to get McGregor on the ball, especially in the first half, which then allowed him to get the ball out wide or into O'Reilly to spread it out wide. Abada, I thought, had some nice touches, nearly set up Kyogo's first goal, where he seemed to get his feet all tangled up. Maeda also, I thought, played actually his best game of the season so far. I think his pace down the left is always going to trouble um, a player like Tavernier, who is not the quickest and is not the best defender. And I thought Maeda also had a good contribution to today's victory. Kyogo scored a brilliant goal, lovely, almost first time shot that took Butland by surprise with its power, pace, and accuracy. He could have had 3 goals quite easily in the first half. Tangled his feet up when probably simpler just to take a proper right foot, side foot in towards the goal, and then didn't quite hit his shot as flush as he would have wanted, allowing Goldson's bottom to block it and knock it wide. In the second half, again, Kyogo some really nice touches, which set up Abada coming in off the right wing, and his shot was actually very well saved by Butland, and Butland's deflection, although it wasn't acknowledged by the referee or the linesman for the corner it should have been, took it past the post and just outside of Dyson Maida's sliding attempt. Second half was rather frantic. Celtic had a few chances again on the break. Yang did well out wide when he came on, but did struggle when he got into the box. Thought looked like he lacked a bit of match sharpness. Um, and I think had he been fully match fit and fully back into the swing of things, he might well have taken one of those half chances on the edge of the box to either score himself or set up one of his teammates. Joe Hart, I think, actually did a grand job. He came out of his box quite a few times to clear the long ball over the top that Rangers were using rather a lot in the first half. A couple of basic saves, got himself nicely in the way of a couple of shots. No great saves, no great chances actually for Rangers. And I thought Rangers looked rather confused, disorganised. They didn't seem to actually know who to pass to or when to pass. And I think Celtic were more than deserved victors. Rather disappointed with the Rangers manager's comments afterwards, who implied that his team were so much better than Celtic. I think he must have been watching a different match. Um, Celtic probably had the 4 best chances to score. I think only one time Rangers really had a proper chance to score, and that was Lammers, who would have actually had to have a pretty good shot because Hart was nearby and there was a Celtic defender on the line, except Lammers has knocked the ball out by a kick. Big talking points, of course, would be the VAR overturning of the Rangers goal after the foul on Lagerbielke. Can't see where this Chris Boyd or Kenny Miller or Michael Beale are seeing this. Lagerbielke kicked himself or kicked Dessers, and that's why he fell over. Dessers came through him, took away his foot just as he was about to kick the ball, let tangle of legs, knocked him over. The kind of thing that if it's in the box, Rangers would be screaming for the penalty, and very similar to the penalty given last year when Starfelt and Fashion Sakala's feet intertwined in the box, and Sakala dramatically fell to the ground to get his penalty. So I think this was a good example of VAR doing its job, overruling a goal that shouldn't have stood. A lot of nonsense from the Rangers pundits about it wasn't a clear and obvious error. It was a clear and obvious error. It was a clear foul on Lagerbielke. It was probably a soft foul, but it was a foul nonetheless. And it was the kind of foul that was given several times in other parts of the pitch. A bit of contact between the defender and the forward who falls over, a bit of contact between 2 midfielders. One falls over, gets the foul. kind of thing that Todd Cantwell is an expert at, kind of thing that Ryan Kent last season was an expert at. Bit of contact, fall over, get a foul. Bit of contact, fall over, get a penalty. So, well done, Celtic. A bit more back to the way they should be playing. I think quite a lot of positives actually. After the international break, one would expect O will be fully fit. Hatate should be back in the team. Johnson, Taylor should be fully fit and playing. Tilio should be able to come onto the bench and play from there. We'll have Palma, Phillips, and Paolo Bernardo all settled into the team. Um, it's probably going to be another 6 weeks or so before CCV or Navroki come back. I think having Lagbielka and Phillips and assuming Navroki comes back fully fit does allow us a little bit more leeway in bringing back CCV, allowing us to take a bit more time. It did not appear that we rushed CCV back into the lineup. But it was disappointing he got injured so soon after returning. A lot more faith actually in Joe Hart this time. Got rid of the ball better, passed the ball better, looked more commanding of his box, and played the sweeper keeper role quite well. Hopefully, Luis Palma turns out to be the player that we think he is. Hopefully, Paulo Bernardo uses the potential and the talents he clearly does have to become a good player for Celtic. And we've also got all things going well. We'll have O'Reilly, McGregor, Bernardo, Holm, and Hatate all as good, flexible midfield options to cover all those different roles. We'll hopefully have Tilio, Yang, Forrest, Abada, Maeda, Palma for the wide positions. We'll have O and Kyogo through the middle with the option of playing Palma through there instead. And so I think things are rosy. The future's rosy. Couple of the things just that I forgot to mention in yesterday's preview. Of course, Sead Haksabanovic is off to Stoke on a season-long loan. I would suspect that's going to be a loan with a view to him being bought by Stoke at the end of the season, although I haven't seen that in definite print. We got rid of Ayeti and Sorrow. We still seem to have McCarthy. We have Bain and Siegrist backing up Joe Hart. There was an interesting few stories suggesting that we might be in the market for Kasper Schmeichel, who was released by Nice in France just around about the end of the transfer window. He is 36. Had you asked me last year when he left Leicester to go to Nice, I would have said we definitely should snap him up. But apparently he's had a very poor season in Nice. He's caused a lot of problems to his teammates and management. Very poor discipline. Hasn't been training very well, and so I'm not actually so keen on bringing in Schmeichel as a replacement for Hart as I was until I looked into it further. So we'll reflect on the game again tomorrow. We'll also have a wee chat about any news that's cropped up overnight. There may be a few stories regarding the level of injuries to Johnston and Taylor, which at the moment seem to be minor, and a couple of other thoughts regarding where Celtic go from here, what we maybe think about doing between now and the winter transfer window in terms of positions we need to scout, and we'll address anything else that's in the news tomorrow morning. So, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Do like and subscribe, boost my subscribers out of the 70s towards 100. That'd be brilliant. Also, there's a wee quiz question regarding Celtic Rangers matches in the quiz section. And for now, goodbye and hail, hail.